Welcome back to the Fourth Revolution. We'll discuss stocks for your portfolio of the future. This Russian-Ukrainian conflict with Russia obviously invading Ukraine has created some unusual bids across different sectors in this market. In the last few days, we've had a huge bid for cybersecurity, oil and gas E&Ps, which are exploration and production companies for the energy company, or energy sector, should I say. We have clean energy, aerospace, and defense, and then we have cryptocurrencies, which I think is the most interesting bid that we got in this market, with the rest of the broader indexes kind of struggling to hold their own. So I want to take a look at some opportunities in these sectors, take a look at where the momentum is derived from, and where it's going, and I guess how much runway these different plays have. So let's dive into the opportunities here. This is Bitcoin on TradingView.com, and you can see since the pandemic began, Bitcoin has just exploded in adaptation as the world looks towards the future of our financial system. Blockchain technology has put itself at the top of the list of crucial, I guess, building blocks for this new economy. And Bitcoin has seen huge swings. Even after this pullback, we're seeing, 300 to 500% off the lows we saw back in April of 2020. And, we're headed higher with this latest conflict in Ukraine with Russia's invasion catalyzing a bid for Bitcoin, and it's because of the destabilization that this whole thing has shown. You can see the sanctions from the UN and including the US and NATO allies causing the currency, Russian currency, to fall 30% in just a week's time. And the fact that a superpower currency, despite these sanctions probably being justified, a superpower currency falling this amount of value in this short period of time shows a destabilization of these 180 different distinct fiat currencies. And it has the world looking back towards Bitcoin, which, like I said, has had that adaptation that the world's looking for, with institutional investors now considering this an investable asset. And we saw yesterday the Bitcoin was up 15%. We're headed even higher today, jumping above this the 50-day moving average, which is a key level. And we're hitting a little bit of resistance at this fib here, right around 61.8. This is the golden ratio of Fibonacci retracement coming from the highs we saw in I think it was at the end of December to the lows of the end of January, and now we are headed higher, looking to break out. I expect us to see a continued momentum push into this risk on equity as investors look towards the future of currencies. Riot Blockchain, ticker Riot, is my play on the cryptocurrency market. So Riot Blockchain is a leading Bitcoin miner in the U.S. With one of the highest hash rates, and hash rates is the ability or the speed at which these miners are able to solve equations in order to achieve a Bitcoin. So it's kind of complicated. The way they do it is miners compete with each other to solve these complex equations in order to verify different nodes, which is effectively verifying transactions. And by doing so, they're rewarded with new Bitcoins. And Riot Blockchain has one of the highest hash rates in the industry. I think it is the highest in the U.S. today. And after China's exit from this market with regulation cracking down on these miners, it opened up the opportunities for U.S. miners like Riot, who was able to quadruple its hash rate in the last year, and is going to quadruple it again in 2022, which provides it with a nice upside if Bitcoin is able to drive higher. And based off of the technicals as well as the fundamental interest in it, I see that happening right now. This high beta miner is bouncing off this 50-day moving average, similar to what we saw with Bitcoin, except it's going lower. And I'm seeing an upside of 50 to 100% from here. I'm looking at price targets between $30 and even $50 a share, as this company recently acquired Whinstone, which is a massive mining institution out in Texas and has been moving towards more sustainable sources of energy that in the long term are going to be, more profitable. So I'm seeing this as a trade more than a long-term hold, and I'm going to be looking towards, like I said, price targets north of $30 a share. Once we break out above this 50-day, I think it is there's no looking back. We're going higher, and this thing moves quickly, as you can see. Back here in October, I actually traded this back in October, the end of October. It went from 25 all the way up to 45 a share in just 2 weeks' time. And it was a quick and easy trade, and I see that opportunity presenting itself here today. This is CrowdStrike, ticker CRWD on TradingView.com. This thing is absolutely torn higher since the pandemic began, and it's because of this digital acceleration that our economy has been going through. It's this rapid digitalization is creating an exponential number of penetratable endpoints for cyber terrorists to take over. And CrowdStrike is the best-in-class AI-driven cloud cybersecurity platform for the future. It's continuously learning to adapt to this continuously changing cyber environment. And the latest attacks from Russia on Ukraine has the U.S. worried, and there's going to be a huge bid, not only for CrowdStrike, but for its holdings as far as an institutional level of interest goes. And I expect this stock to tear higher into this fourth industrial revolution. This is one of those stocks that doesn't have a multiple that you should really be worried about. So in the cybersecurity space, it is so essential over this next decade that that this company, if it controls the proper market share, which is key, taking control of the proper market share now is going to give them massive profitability 10 years from now. And that's why multiples don't matter in the cybersecurity space, because it's not going anywhere. It's only going to be a larger and larger issue, a more prominent space. And CrowdStrike has solidified itself as a leader in this cutting edge space with its like I said, cloud incepted platform. And it's been on a tear since February 24th. Raising from 150 all the way to 200 a share, and I am looking at price targets north of 300. So I would not hesitate to buy on this momentum from Russia. This conflict between Russia and Ukraine has created a outsized bid in a number of different sectors. Like I said, cybersecurity and cryptos has the most runway here as far as a future rally goes. But I'm also looking at clean energy. The pandemic and the existential threat to mortality that it created has the humans looking at the earth and the sustainability and the health of our planet. But this latest bid is actually a product of financial interest, believe it or not, because we saw from the Russian embargoes on oil and different things happening in Europe as far as energy crisis goes. We don't want to rely on anybody else for our energy resources, and sustainability is actually profitability when it comes to energy. So I would consider looking at iShare's Clean Energy ETF. ICLN is going to be that ticker. And like I said, Bitcoin as well as Riot and CrowdStrike are all going to be long-term plays that are getting a short-term bid. So it's a good long-term and short-term ride to get in on. So don't forget to check out Zacks.com/insiders, where you can see what the insiders are doing during these volatile times of craziness, with headlines seeming to hit the news with adverse market moving events on a daily basis. So Zacks.com/promo, check that out for our latest updates on what the insiders are doing. So thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you guys next time.